Before we continue singing, are we ready to start a wedding? Are we going to do this Nashville style? Let's do a Nashville wedding. I did hear that Nashville is the bachelorette party capital of the world. So I hope you went for it, Cindy.
That's after the wedding.
And so we're about to start our wedding. Let's give Kylie a big round of applause. She's our first India. There will be some times during the wedding ceremony where I'll be singing to Kylie while I'm doing a couple of things up in here, starting the fire. You know there's going to be a fire sacrifice, right? Did she tell which one of you is going to be the sacrifice? We didn't. Nobody knows. But there will be a small yajna that will be taking place, which I will be explaining the aspects along the way. We also have our very wonderful Raghunath here who will be sharing a little bit with us and speaking for this event. My name is Dal Grunga. Really, really grateful to be here with all of you. This is a collective experience that we'll do together. So your prayers, your intention, your emotion, your support is very, very, very critical. So we're going to begin with what's known as the Shubh Darshan, which is traditionally in a wedding the first time that the bride and groom are ever seeing each other in their lives. So this is a big moment for them. I think they had breakfast together today. So since then, and maybe they were setting up together about 20 minutes ago, but this is the first time they've seen each other in about 20 minutes. So it's a big deal.
It's quite exciting.
And so the idea is that we have two wonderful friends who are covering Stephen in the cloth. And in just a moment, Cindy's going to be coming in with a few of her entourage because Cindy doesn't go anywhere without an entourage. We know that. So she's going to be coming in. We're going to have a kirtan. It'll be live. You guys can clap your hands. Loud Hari Bol, loud cheering. You're so excited for them. You're so much pouring and sharing your love into all chanting together. And she's going to be coming in and we're going to see them. And then she's going to stand just briefly in front of this cloth. And then the moment of anticipation will come. And when these two gentlemen feel it's right, they will lower that cloth and they will stare into each other's eyes for about an hour. We're going to do about an hour. And then we will move on to the next part. Make sense? Beautiful. Okay, so let's all sing together. Kylie, you can kick us off. Can you get a very loud Hari Bol? So they're so beautiful, aren't they? So beautiful. Cindy and Stephen, I'm so honored to be here and to be able to be part of this wedding with you. They said they wanted a simplified version. They didn't want it to be too long, so they've already moved on to the next part, exchange garlands. They did that. So we're already past part 2. So in Vedic ceremony, it's Jaya Mala, which is the first exchanging of garlands. In a Vedic wedding ceremony, there are multiple times along the way where the bride and groom actually get married. So officially, they're actually married. That exchanging of garlands is the first step. So at this time, I'm going to invite Stephen to take his seat, Cindy to take her seat. We can all sit down. Thank you so much for everyone who's been here. I just want to welcome everybody who's come from different places. We got some people from Alaska in the house. Where's Alaska? They're quiet folks. They're quiet. We got Switzerland. We got our East Coasters. We got who's local from Nashville? Beautiful, wonderful. I just wanted to say what an honor it is to be here with everybody and to be part of this ceremony. It's a great, great pleasure and privilege of mine. And we are going to have some guest speakers say just a few brief words. And so we have 2 speakers we're going to have. First, we're going to have special guests who helped arrange our prasad, our meal, which we have to take at the end. Gadi Prabhu, would you like to say a few brief words for us as we begin?
This is my time.
This is the time. You want to share a quick blessing and a few words?
Sure. Should I come up there?
If you'd like.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We've been doing this a long time, but I still have a few words. Got a microphone? No microphone?
Mine's not working. Oh, there it is.
Well, this is a. This is the. I can talk with more emotion this way, I think. But we're talking about everyone here is engaged in yoga. I assume that, right? Everyone's engaged in yoga. Good. So yoga means to unite, to come together, to reconnect with higher energies. But in this world we live in, we're all performing yoga all the time, because yoga means to link up. So today we have a marriage where 2 souls are performing marriage yoga service. So in this way, that urge and that need for one soul to connect with another soul is fulfilled to some degree in this material world. We all know that there is something higher than that, and that's why you're all here. You're all here to try and link up with a higher power. You know, in the nunnery, when a woman enters a nunnery, she actually she gives up their attachment to having a mate in this material world. And her yoga or her union is going to be with God. And so there's actually a ceremony where she gets a ring and actually marries God. That's the whole concept, is to marry God. So in this way, we're all looking for that same connection. And our connection, we're very fortunate to have this Vedic understanding, not just an understanding, but the absolute truth that Krishna is the ultimate connected Supreme Soul that we're all trying to connect with. through this chanting of this Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So that's the whole point is here. Everyone is trying to form a union in some way, shape, or form. Some people with an animal, with a dog or a cat or a horse, cows. We have cows. But and you're also invited to come down to our place. It's called Murai Sanctuary. We have some literature for later on. But this whole point is, what is love and what is the purpose of love? That's the title of my new book, by the way, and it's an introduction to the Srimad Bhagavatam by His Divine Grace. What is love and what is the purpose of love? When you think about what is love, it's an energy, it's a force, something inside of us that we all have, and we all know we have to put it somewhere. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur says, you have to find the right object, or Vishaya. A Vishaya is the object. And so, in this material world, we find an object to give our love to. And love is like something like a liquid. A golden liquid lives in the heart. It's very powerful. And so when you give that love to someone else, and they return that love, there is a force, which is a channel which is created, where the two energies are now become one energy. They actually form one energy. So that's what marriage is about. You have that Vishaya, the two Vishayas, two objects, and the Ashraya is the deepest point in the heart where the love resides. Excuse me for my. But Ashraya is the deepest core of the heart where the love resides. And when that love is given to the Vishaya, and that Vishaya also gives you back that love, then you have what's called a loving relationship. And that when that loving relationship is somehow broken, and we've all experienced that, I think, probably. When it's somehow broken abruptly, either one of the Vishayas or one of the objects say, I don't love you anymore. That's what the material world is like. I don't love you anymore. And then broken hearts, disappointment, so many things in this material world. Or perhaps the object succumbs to a disease or an accident of some sort. Or the Vishaya disappears. And so the person left behind has this pain because there's no more connection to that person. The person's gone. That Vishaya is gone. So this book that we're putting together, it's in India right now, being designed at Final Designs, is to let everyone understand that Krishna is the ultimate Vishaya. And when that love that you have all inside, that liquid, and when you pour it out, you give it to Krishna, you'll find that you have nothing left that you can ever want in this world. So right now, you're on the path to try to understand these things. But this is the truth. Pure love is there, and we all know it's there. We just have to find out how to unleash it, how to open it up, how to release it from the core of the heart. Do this Maha Mantra. This chanting of Krishna's name is so powerful that if you apply yourself very, very seriously to it, you will find that that heart will start opening up. No matter how much pain there's been there before, that doesn't matter. That heart will start to open up again. And Krishna will start to receive that liquid coming from your heart. And you begin to feel like you have everything. Nothing will be lacking in your life. There'll be no shortage of anything in your life. You feel completely satisfied and completely at peace. This is Srila Prabhupada's promise in all these books, and the promise is a good promise, and it will be fulfilled if you carry out this chanting process very nicely. So I'm not going to take up too much time, but now we get the idea what a marriage is, and it's also for two people to come together and serve Krishna together. That's the whole point of this. to bring about children, Krishna conscious children, and so forth. Now, we have, yeah, well.
We have special news for everybody. We're gonna wait until after the wedding, but
As a general principle. To young people get married, and planning a life with children and so on and so forth. But at any stage, it doesn't matter, that liquid love can be given to another individual, and that if that other individual is also intent on serving Krishna and giving their love to Krishna, everything will become perfect. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
So you're looking for that leaflet. What is love? What is it? It'll be on the bestseller list very soon.
Whoever catches the bouquet gets a
What is
signed
love?
copy.
What is the purpose? What is the purpose of love? And the purpose of love is to love Krishna. We don't know what love is. It's just a force. We can't really define it. Can you say any other word other than love? Is there another word? Maybe in a different language, but it's the same word. This is all in the book too. But anyway, if you understand what love is, that's there. Even though you can't really define it, you can't put your finger on it, but you know it's there. And what to do with it? Now we know what to do with it. Your brothers taught us what to do with it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Daddy, for being beautiful words. And next, we're going to invite Raghunath Prabhu. Some of us, many of us know, many of us may not. Longtime spiritual teacher, friend, spiritual father, big brother, guide, mentor of Cindy, and also Stephen. Before Raghunath speaks, we'll do what's known as a sankalpa, which is a setting of intention for this particular ceremony. And we'll do a very simple version where we will mention that on this month, on this fortnight, in this lineage, by this person, this particular ceremony will begin. We'll set that intention. And so much of what we do in all of these Vedic ceremonies and rituals is to create a deep impression in the consciousness, set ourselves in the right mood. So I'm going to ask Raghunath to repeat after me, very simply. We'll say the month that we are in, the fortnight that we're in, the particular titi that we are in on this day, this particular lineage, the person of Raghunath Das, who's very dear to Krishna, Krishna Priyarta, this Vivaha ceremony will begin. So just repeat after me. Govinda Mase,
Govinda Mase,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Akshay,
Akshay,
Chaturdasi,
Chaturasi,
Titi,
Titi,
Achutya,
Achutya,
Gotra,
Gotra,
Raghunathas,
Raghunathas,
Sri Krishna,
Sri Krishna,
Vrityartha,
Nityartha,
Vivaha,
Vivaha,
Karmaham,
Maham,
Karishye.
Karishe.
So in the month of Govinda and the fortnight of Krishna, in the Chaturdasi Titi, in the lineage of Achyuta, the infallible lineage of Sri Krishna, this Raghunath Das, who's very dear to Krishna, is commencing for us this Vivaha ceremony. Haribol. I would like Raghunath to, as the spiritual teacher of Cindy, and for many of us to also be able to share some words, reflections on this day, and to, in following the footsteps of Gadi Prabhu, help us set the mood and share.
Do we get to tie the knot? Is that coming up?
That's coming up.
Okay.
He's been asking about the knot all day.
Yeah.
That's coming up. We will be. That's one of the first things that we're going to do.
That's where they got the expression from.
We would like Bhakti Vinod to come please and offer also Raghunath who's sitting here. Haribol.
Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, thank you, Gadi Prabhu. I love the idea of liquid love. Beautiful. Golden liquid. These two are coming together today, and already it's seen when they come together how beautiful things can become. Look what they've turned this warehouse into. It's quite extraordinary. And when they've come together, they also don't do it alone. They bring a whole community of people together, which is quite inspiring. It's Kali Yuga right now. You know what this word is? This phrase, Kali Yuga? Kali Yuga means it's an awkward time in the history of the universe. Things are a little bit backwards, right? They're catching up to us, but they're more paced. Usually people get married when they're 19 and 20 there. And we do things backwards a little bit in Kali Yuga. We try to make the best out of it. And India is, people come of age immediately. They don't even choose their partner. Their parents choose their partner for them. They say, we've got this figured out. You don't have to get caught up in all this. We'll arrange it for you. We'll meet their family. We'll do their astrological charts, and we'll figure it out for you. The kids just, you know what the kids do? Yes, mother. How many people have you said yes, mother, when you were 18? No, it's different. We have a different culture. In the West, we spend our life trying to find love through stuff. That's what material life is. How can I find love through stuff or through some experience of the material world? And oftentimes that becomes the same way a fly tries to find pleasure in a fire. Anybody camp out? Sometimes you watch a bug just fly right in. Why? Don't go that way. Don't, bug, no! Fly right into the fire and then kill themselves in that fire. Or sometimes we see in a beautiful place like this, there's some beautiful windows, and the fly is trying to get to that sunlight. It's become dark in here, and the fly just repeatedly hits his head against the window. And he's thinking, I just got to try harder. I just got to find a different path. And he goes low in the window, bang, 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 bang. Climbs high in the window, bang, bang, bang. He's not getting out of the window. That's material existence for a lot of us. We banged our head repeatedly. I didn't listen to the good advice of parents. Some of us didn't even get good advice from parents. That's how Kali Yuga works. Some of us were given advice to our parents. So in Kali Yuga, sometimes we try again and again to find joy, to find love, to find peace, to find balance. And we're just ramming our head. People are moving to Nashville to find all that stuff. And they're banging their head. And sometimes if they're fortunate, they say, you know what? I've been going about it all wrong. If they're unfortunate, they die from indulgence in too much sense gratification, or they become addicts. But if they're fortunate, they say, no more. I can't do this anymore. I've been running east looking for sunsets. I've got to do something different. I got to make a different choice. I got to settle down. I've been playing the field and going to bars and been on Tinder. I got to settle down. And they say, I want this person. I'm going to settle down with this person. Hopefully they do some due diligence. This person. And they realize that there's some peace from just regulating yourself. I don't want 1 million people in my life. I want one good quality person. I want to take care of that person in hopes that they take care of me. And I want to move forward. And maybe I'm going to have a family, raise a family. Maybe we'll settle. Maybe we'll buy a place. See, all that stuff is already figured out in India when the people are 20 years old. Sometimes it takes us 1 marriage, 2 marriages, 3 marriages to figure it out. That's okay. That's Kali Yuga. That's what happens. And sometimes we haven't even figured out who we are at that young age. And perhaps in India, where the parents have worshipped Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu or Lord Shiva, and their great-grandparents or their grandparents, and for bloodlines, they've lived a very strict religious life. But sometimes, and I've seen this because I go to India a lot, I've seen people come from that culture, and in so many ways, they're obedient, they're dharmic, they're self-controlled, but they're looking at the fire. You know, if I could get to America, and with all of our problems growing up in America, and of all the crazy paths we've taken, again, been through relationships, sometimes been through marriages, moved all over the country, right, gone through recovery, whatever it is, as far away as we've gone from Dharma, sometimes we're looking east towards the light. We're looking east towards the sunrise and saying, you know what? I've gone far away, but that's what I want, and I want to go. We're set in the right direction. Sometimes we wonder, well, why couldn't I have done it like the Indians do? They get married with one person. They've been married for 60 years with that same person since we're 17 years old. Sometimes there's a different plan. And the real plan is the direction we're actually going. Both Stephen and Cindy, at the core of their hearts, have a spiritual trajectory. If you know them, you know this. If you know them, you know their desires. Whatever little desires they have, their greatest desire is there's a spiritual desire behind it all. And sometimes when a rocket takes off in the sky, there are these boosters that stay with that rocket. And we wonder, well, why aren't these boosters staying? Sometimes the boosters can't stay. The boosters aren't ready to fly as high as the rocket's ready to fly. And they fall off to the side. We don't hate the boosters. We don't resent the boosters. We don't lament over the boosters. We appreciate what the boosters gave us. And maybe right now you can take a moment and just close your eyes, both of you, and just appreciate who's come into your life, who's supported you, who's loved you, who's assisted you. And maybe they weren't perfect, but they helped you through a certain phase to get to this magic phase right now. And give them some thanks in your mind. Because I know these two, I really know that the big win for them is not to like, well, maybe we should open a studio, or maybe we should open a yoga place. I know that the top of their success list is not business. High on their success list is not like teaching everybody hot yoga. The highest thing on their success list is connecting people with divinity. See, in the West, again, even our concept of let's get married is because I'm sick of the craziness and I just want peace. These two are willing to take on chaos to extend their hand. You think it's easy to run the studio? They will go out of their way to take on chaos, spend resources and time and energy to connect people. They don't just want peace. They could have had that. They can go somewhere and live a very simple life and have peace. They'll take on a burden to serve a higher purpose. That is the burden of love. And because on a regular basis, they study spiritual truth. It's not a hobby. It's not a fad. It's not to impress people. On a regular basis, they're imbibing spiritual truth. They understand, even the marriage, it's not Hollywood. Hollywood paints it out to be, well, this is the end all. Now I'm with that one I love, and now we're going to drive off in our convertible out into the sunset. They're not that short-sighted. They're not that myopic. They understand, this isn't the goal also. Like it's you and me, baby, forever. And I know they wouldn't want me to paint some romantic bubble of marriage because they deal with the absolute truth on a regular basis. What's the absolute truth? Everything in this world is temporary. Everything in the material world is temporary. And it's not that you and me, baby, as we walk into the sunset. It's you and me, hand in hand, assisting each other towards the absolute truth. That's what real love is. There's love with a small L. I love my dog. I love my kids. I love my house. Love my car. Love my truck. Love my boots. There's a lot of boots in this town. I've noticed.
3 times Raghunath has complimented me on my boots.
She's got nice boots. Right? So there's love with a small L. I realize that all that love for my truck and my boots and my stuff and even the people in my life, I know that it's deep down, I know that I can't hold on to even the most precious people. Even my mother, I can't hold on to her forever. She's 98, my mom. So everything that we love in this world, we meditate on a regular basis that we can't hold on to anything. So we call that small L love. But we're walking towards a capital L love. And that is me connected to divinity. And they understand that. And they're still entering this because as a team, we find we can do so much more than being alone. Alone, we're like a twig, isn't it? We're like a twig. You can just boop, break a twig. But sometimes you get 2 twigs together, harder to break. Right? And with the community of twigs, that's you, very difficult to break. So it's this idea of kirtan, like Gadi was saying, Gadi Prabhu was saying, you sing these sacred sounds and it changes your heart. The problem is we're also distracted. So we find a partner who helps us. When my mind goes here, my partner says, hey, love, brings my consciousness back here. Then my partner starts to look around, and then they catch my hand and pull me back. That's real love. Real love doesn't mean you commiserate with the other person while they're finding fault with people. That's not love. Real love doesn't mean you yuck it up over material things and reminisce about Maya. That's not real love. Real love is you lift each other higher and higher and higher. You become the good influence for your partner. You set a great example for your partner. You hold no resentment for your partner. You don't keep a list of their wrongs. You know, a little file cabinet. I think what Stephen did last year at this time. No, you let that go. You burn those files. And you walk hand in hand towards divinity. And those twigs get stronger. The kirtan's alone, we're singing alone, right? And then the sankirtan as we come together. And that's very, very powerful. When you sing together and when you learn to love God together, that becomes so beautiful, right? And then this word in Sanskrit, Nagar Sankirtan, that means the whole village comes together and we sing together. And that's what we're doing today. The whole village is here. And we make these vows in front of God, in front of teachers, in front of family, in front of loved ones. And we make a committed declaration to the universe. I'm with this person. I'm here to support them. And we all shower blessings on them. Haribo! Haribo! And that's the power of the Nagar Sankirtan, the whole community. And like we said, when many of those twigs are together, very difficult to break. And we stay firm on our path. So this studio is an outpouring of their love. And we all feel sheltered here. We all feel like this is an oasis in a crazy world. And we all feel very, very supportive of them coming together. Haribo.
field energy. Put this one. Thank you. Can we get one more round of applause for Raghunath? So we have two short things to do before we tie a knot, which is the most exciting part. A few parts. The first thing we're going to do is what's known as Achaman, or just a short purification. There's a mantra that I'm going to chant. We're all going to chant it together. It'll be a call and response. And the translation of this mantra is that whether we are pure or impure, in Kali Yuga, a lot of us run up against a lot of impurities or just some things in our heart that just kind of get dinged up a little bit. And so whether one is pure or impure, it doesn't matter. If we are able to take shelter of the divine source, Pundarikaksha, of the divine lotus feet of Krishna, then all of those things just they're superfluous. They're not really important, right? So we chant this mantra before we begin a ceremony. And then we'll also do a brief for just Cindy and Stephen, an achaman, which is a little purification of water. So externally, water, we purify ourselves with water, we bathe ourselves. They're not going to dump water on them and bathe them, but you do it ceremoniously by sipping 3 times water. And also internally, they will chant a mantra, a name of Vishnu, by looking into the water, so that when they sip that water, it's as if they're ingesting that mantra into their body. And it's both an external and internal purification. Okay, so please just repeat after me. Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarva Avastam Gato Api Va Ya Smarit Pundarikaksham Sa Vaya Abhyantaram Suchi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. So Cindy and Stephen, you can both extend your right hand out for me. Perfect. Thank you so much. And go out, put this water into your hands. You can just drop it down onto the floor. And then look into the mantra and chant after me. Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Beautiful. And drop. Repeat after me, looking into the water of the mantra. Om Narayanaya Namaha.
Om Narayanaya Namaha.
Beautiful. You're doing great. One more. Drop. Repeat after me. Om Madhavaya Namaha.
Om Madhavaya Namaha.
And that's the last thing that I have you drink. Don't worry. So now we're going to do a very brief Ganesh Puja. Ganesh is the remover of obstacles. And in a Vedic Yagya, Ganesh is simplified. We have here a coconut and a kalash pot with palm leaves and a beautiful garland. So I'm going to just chant a few mantras, and you guys can just have some flower petals. So I'm going to chant 2 times 2 mantras, and at the end of each mantra, I'm going to repeat Om Vishvakshenaya Namaha 3 times, and at the end of Om Vishvakshenaya Namaha, you offer some flower petals to Ganesh. Vishvakshena, it said that each of us are here in the material world. We have so many identities, right? I'm living in Nashville, I'm living in New York, so many material identities, but we also have an eternal spiritual identity. And Vishvakshena is the spiritual identity of Ganesh in the spiritual world. He's the commander-in-chief of Vishnu's army, which is why he's the remover of obstacles. And so we do a short offering and a puja to Ganesh so that we can have the removal of obstacles for our yagya ceremony, because who needs obstacles, right? If you want to know what kind of obstacles are out there, just ask Raghunath. He will tell you about the hashtag Vedic wedding fails, which he follows. So you're out there. So he's very much meditating. So I will just chant this mantra, and then I will chant Om Vishvakshenaya Namaha. And after each time I say Om Vishvakshenaya Namaha, you'll offer just flower petals here, so you guys can just listen. Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashi Varnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayat Sarva Vigno Pashante. Om Vishvakshenaya Namaha. Om Vishvakshenaya Namaha. Om Vishvakshenaya Namaha. Om Yasadvirara Bhaktyaja Parishyatya parashtam dignam niganti shatatam vishvakshenam tvam ashraye. Om Vishvakshenaya namaha. Om Vishvakshenaya namaha. Om Vishvakshenaya namaha. Beautiful. Now I'm going to give them some incense, which they will be able to offer as a simple puja. Both with your right hand you can hold and just simple and just offer. And read up, everybody please chant the Maha Mantra with me 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Beautiful, thank you so much. And now, the moment we're going to have been waiting for. This is not the end of the ceremony, but this is just the next step. So we have somebody or 2 people who have been designated to assist in tying the knot. Yes. And who are these lovely people? Todd and Erica, thank you so much. So what you're going to do for us, Todd and Erica, there is a literal knot that they're going to tie. And Stephen found out for us that it's actually very auspicious when it's raining on your wedding day, because if a knot gets wet, it's very difficult to untie. Isn't that really sweet? Yeah, isn't it so good that if Google on our wedding days to figure this kind of stuff out? So we have a knot in here, and there's a few auspicious items that are in there. Cindy has some rice, which she got some from Vrindavan, some goti chandan. There's a betel nut, and we put some of those items. It's actually tied within the knot, and they will each. So you guys will tie as best you can to wherever they say. One side to Stephen's chadar, one side to Cindy's veil. They will be tied for the day, and then they will keep this knot around with them, and it will be tied. And so we can just have a little bit of beautiful kirtan. We can all be chanting together while that is going on. And then I will also be chanting a mantra, which I will explain afterwards, which is a list of divine couples that have come before us, in whose footsteps they are following. So, kirtan, please. Om Shri Lakshmi Pitambarayo Redati Balaramayo Tatasika Ramayascha Shri Kundra Shivaya Yata Eva Mukti Karamayo Sachi Madhavato Yata Shatarupa Swayam Bhuvayo Renuka Jamatakayo Yata Harya Goptamayo Devki Vasudevaya Mandoda Dharirayo Yashoda Nandayo Yata Shri Draupadi Pandavayo Shri Namayo Shri Radha Krishna Yata Anayo Kanya Varotata Syari Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So now, we were chanting the mantra that just as many names, just as Lakshmi and Narayan, Shiva and Parvati, Devaki and Vasudev, so many divine couples, they have all tied this knot. And as Radha and Krishna, so you have officially and formally, in front of all the assembled Vaishnavas, tied the knot. So now we will move on to the actual invoking of the fire, the yajna, which we pray to Lord Vishnu that this goes well, which we believe it will. Which we believe it will. And so the invoking of a fire sacrifice is where we're able to take the things of value and offer them into a fire. So in an agricultural society, imagine you take your grains, you take the ghee, and you offer them into the fire. That whatever little I have, I'm taking a piece of that and I'm offering it back. And it's also a form of invoking.
A robot vacuum. So
He's like, listen, guys, you guys have been here long enough. There's ash everywhere. You know how difficult it is to get ash off of a ground? That's not my warranty policy.
We are hoping we're not going to invoke the fire marshal. That's what we're hoping.
Yeah. Okay. So, and the flame represents the tongue of Vishnu. So we offer it's the presence. It's actually the deity of the yagni. We're invoking Vishnu into the fire, and so we will invite the fire. So I will invite Kylie to offer some kirtan for us, and then I will be going through the process. First, I'm going to offer. There's a process of where I'll offer the first flame, and I will be putting that fire out. It's the removal of any inauspicious elements that we don't need to be present here. We're invoking Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, and we're thanking him for a service that he does in the universe, but he does not have to be present here in the ceremony of this wedding. So we remove that first fire, and then there is a process of establishing the actual fire and worshiping through mantras and praising of Vishnu in the fire. And then we will offer some oblations in the next part, which you will all get to be able to participate in with your mantras and as such. So I will just take a minute just to invoke this fire. You guys will all support me in doing kirtan and Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for kirtan. We did it, guys. We got a fire going. Some of you were doubtful. Some of you guys were doubtful. But I knew that this was on our side. Raghunath gave me a few tips. Okay, so now we're going to begin what is known as, by the way, Stephen created this little stall. He built it out of bricks, he bought it, he painted it. Then he went to the Indian store, realized he could have bought one for $40. But I said this was so much more meaningful. So we're good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to begin what is known as Ajya Homa, which is we're going to be offering oblations into the fire. So what Stephen and Cindy are going to do is we're going to be offering what is known as a Mangala Shravan. I will be chanting the mantra, so it will not be a call and response, so we can move through it. And there's a lot of mantras, but it is the offering of obeisances to our gurus, to our Guru Parampara, our teachers, and not just the general of teachers, but specifically our teacher, Srila Prabhupada, his guru and teachers, their guru and teachers, the primary deities of Vrindavan, Sri Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of our Gaudiya Vaishnava lineage specifically. We're offering all of those prayers. And at the end of each time when I chant the mantra, I will chant Swaha, and I'll offer some ghee into the fire. And you can all join me in chanting Swaha. You won't exactly know when I'm chanting Swaha because you won't know the end of the mantra, but it's pretty, you'll all say Swaha. And as I begin to say Swaha, just join in and say Swaha. You know, do that with me. Swaha. Beautiful. And as you're doing it, each time, Cindy and Stephen, you will take a little, with your two middle fingers and your thumb. And when we say Swaha, you'll just put it into the fire each, okay? So you pick it up and then you put it in with each Swaha. Make sense? Okay. This is known as the Ajya Homa and oblations into the fire. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitan Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Swaha Krishnairam Namama Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadam Tikam Swaha Krishnaya Idam Namama Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Swaha Iram Krishna Edam Namama Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Swaha Krishna Edam Namama Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshtatarine Swaha Krishna Edam Namama Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Saraswati Niti Namine Swaha Krishna Edam Namama Shri Varshavani Devi Daite Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vidyana Daine Prabhave Namaha Swaha Krishna Edam Namama Madhuryo Jvala Prematya Shri Gurupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Swaha Krishna Edam Namama Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupanuga Virura Pasidanta Dvantaharine Swaha Krishna Edam Namama Nama Gaura Kishoraya Sakshataragya Murtaye Dripalambara Sambode Parampujayate Namaha Swaha Krishnayedam Namah. Nama Bhakti Vinodaya Sakchiranandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupa Nugavarayate Swaha Krishnayedam Namah Gaura Vibhava Bhume Swam Nireshte Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Swaha Krishnayedam Namah Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Swaha Krishnayedam Namah Namo Mahavadandaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Swaha Krishnayedam Namah Panchatattvatakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktatyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Swaha Krishnayedam Namah. Hey Krishna. Any of you know the mantra? You're welcome to chant along with me. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Swaha Jayatam Surato Pango Mama Mande Mate Gati Matsarvasya Param Bhojo Radha Madanamohano Swaha Krishnayedam Namah Didyat Vrindaranya Kalpa Drumada Srimad Ratnagara Samhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishtaladi Sevya Manosmarami Swaha Krishnaya Idam Namama Srimad Rasa Rasaram Divam Sivatata Stitaha Karshande Sware Gopi Gopi Nata Shriye Stusaha Swaha Krishnaya Idam Namama Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusudevi Pranamami Hari Priye Swaha Krishnayedam Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Swaha Krishnayedam Namaha Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Swaha Krishnayedam Namah. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Swaha Krishnayedam Namah. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Swaha Krishnaya Idam Namah. You guys did great, thank you. So now we'll move on to what is known as the Laja Homa, or the Mangala Fair. So this will be a time when Cindy and Stephen will both stand up, and they will do an oblations and circumambulation of the fire. And we have a stone here, and we will have some assisted friends that are available for us. Is that correct? If they can make their way. So this is the part just before they will recite their vows. And so those friends can stand and join. And what will be taking place is we have a stone here. This is a stone which represents stability in the life of the bride and the groom. And so there are 4 female friends and 4 male friends. They're going to circumambulate the fire. Just Cindy and Stephen will be circumambulating the fire. But there will be each time 1 female friend who's physically and literally going to take Cindy's right foot and place it on the stone, not too close to the fire. First it was too small, now it's too big. It's just the right size. Stephen built it right. I said, we need to make a fire, you give him a fire pit and this kind of thing. And Stephen's like, yep, I'll take care of it. And I was like, I trust that man. So friend number 1, please just literally physically take Cindy's right foot, place it onto the stone. Stephen, please repeat after me. Mount this stone.
Mount this stone.
And like a stone.
And like a stone.
Be steadfast in devotion.
Be steadfast in devotion.
At the feet of the Lord.
Of the Lord.
Annihilate those who would harm you.
Annihilate those who would harm you.
May you never fall
May you never fall
under their influence.
under their influence.
And now, Stephen, you can place your two right hands. And Cindy, you can place your two right hands. If it's possible to keep your foot on the right stone. We know you can do crazy postures. Don't tell us that's too difficult for you. You can do the whole thing standing with one finger on that stone. And then there are 4 gentlemen in your life. The first one, we can just do one at a time. One can stand and take some puffed rice. We'll just first do Cindy's son. What is your name?
Leo.
Leo. Can we give a round of applause for Leo? Thank you for being here. And so you can just take a palm full of puffed rice and place it in your mother's hand. And this is an offering from your son as you get married. He's also making a vow and a commitment to look after you throughout your life. We know that Stephen doesn't need any men to look out for her, but we also know that everybody needs friends and support throughout their life. So he's making that commitment. And he's also, give a round of applause for that. And he's also making a commitment to Stephen that he's looking out for you too, bro. He got 2 eyes on you, looking out, and so he is there to support you, right? And so now they will begin just a circumambulation. We can have a beautiful kirtan led by Kyle in just a moment. First circumambulation, Cindy is going to lead because she represents Dharma in the marriage. She is the North Star of religiosity and spirituality. So they will circumambulate the fires, and we can have some friends showering them with flower petals. We have some flower petals over there. Brian, Leo, please shower them with flowers. Do it right here. Just That's how you do it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Kylie, you can keep going with that beautiful kirtan, please. We'll repeat. Second female friend. Please mount our foot onto the stone. Stephen, repeat after me. Mount the stone.
Mount the stone.
And like a stone, be steadfast in devotion at the feet of the Lord. Annihilate those who would harm you. May you never fall under their influence. And may another friend please place puffed rice into their hands as an offering to support you and be there for you. And you may offer the rice with the fire. Swaha. And again, you can walk around surrounding the fire with beautiful flowers being showered upon you. She represents Arta in the marriage. She is the representative of Goddess Lakshmi. She is the source of fortune. Beautiful. Place foot on the stone. Stephen, repeat after me. Mount the stone, and like a stone, be steadfast in devotion at the feet of the Lord. Annihilate those who would harm you. May you never fall under their influence. Christ, by your dear friend, offer them into the fire. And now you can circumambulate. Cindy is the Hebrew nurture. She also represents common in the relationship. She is the singular source of pleasure and desire for Stephen in this marriage, keeping him chaste and steadfast. And one more time, please. Another friend. Place the right foot on the stone. Stephen, please repeat after me. Just a small amount of rice, a little bit. Repeat after me, Stephen. I'm not saying that for Rugler, but just for got a lot of rice going on. It's not something specific. I wasn't expecting Rugler. Mount this stone.
Mount this stone.
And like a stone.
And like a stone.
Be steadfast.
Be steadfast.
In devotion.
In devotion.